Hi everybody, I'm Meg from Loven Stamps and this is Maker Mornings with Meg. Today we are doing the Party Puffins stamp set and the coordinating, well not coordinating, I just decided that they coordinate, so we're putting them together this month, Rays of Light stamp. Some of the other projects this month will also be using Inspired Thoughts. So these kind of are my suite for the month of December. I love to curate supplies because I want stampers to be able to make some great projects, like a variety of great projects with a limited number of stamps or a limited set of supplies. And so each month I pool like colors and papers and stamps and embellishments so that you can know that if you have all those pieces, you can make several really fun projects. So the project that I shared the other day was this fun pop-up card with the Puffin. So here you can see how beautiful Rays of Light is. And it is a standing pop-up card. So yes, it opens like this, like a normal card, but it also tucks in so that you have this fun here. So we're doing another pop-up card today because December is the month for pop-up cards. I've decided it is. And so we're gonna go ahead and grab our next card kit. So because when you order, I'm gonna turn my camera down, so look away for a minute if you get motion sick. But when you order from my online store, if you order at least $50, you will get 2 card kits in the mail. And so the card kits this month are for this card and for the pop-up, this pop-up easel card here, the diagonal easel card. So everything is included with this. You just need to supply your own stamps and inks. And so of course, to make that easy for you, I've listed them all on my website. Link is in the video description, okay? So we're going to go ahead and start here with our card base. We're gonna do a quick and easy decoration of the outside of our card, and then we're going to ramp up the inside of our pop-up. This is 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches. And we're gonna go ahead and score that in half at 5.5. You always want to score with either a trimmer or a simply scoreboard. You wanna score when you're folding your cardstock this direction, because if you don't, you will find that you get a crease, a crank, like a messy crease at the top, like a crack. There we go, it's the word I'm looking for. All right, so front of our card. You'll see these pieces of Designer Series paper, and if you have a sharp eye, you're like, Meg, where are those from? I've never seen that paper before. Well, that's because it's a sneak peek. It's brand new. It is coming out January 5th, and it is called, I keep forgetting what it's called. Dandy Designs 12 by 12. It's a double stack, so it's one of those ultra thick paper packs. It is a free celebration item because celebration begins in January and continues through just February. Now, if you are a demonstrator, of course, you could get this paper early, which is how I got mine. If you're not a demonstrator yet and you can't wait, let's see, here's the back sides of it. You could sign up and be part of my demonstrator family, and you could get your paper now. So more about that, links in the video description also. So we're gonna go ahead for the front of our card and layer this here. Isn't this just a gorgeous paper? This is Mango Melody, which is one of my very favorite colors. So I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this here to our paper. So this is 3 by 3 by 4. So the background is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And we want the surprise to be on the inside of our card. So we're gonna go ahead and use just a real fun but subdued set of designs here for the front of our card. So I'm gonna go ahead and layer this. Usually I don't do color on color like this, but like I said, we want it to be subtle. So we have this sort of shadow effect here that really dresses that part of our card up. All right, so now what to put on the front of our card. I have a piece here of basic white cardstock here. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna stamp on this with our image from Puffin Party. We're gonna use these candles here. And so I've got them, and I've got my Bermuda Bay ink to match our cardstock. And I'm gonna go ahead and pop a piece of scrap paper here underneath because I don't want to stamp on my background. So, all right, what is it? The hazards of stamping for stamping for show here. All right, so what you can see is that I've got pieces going off the edge, down the bottom, left to right. I've just staggered that. And what was 3 little candles has now become a whole sea of candles. And then I'm gonna take my postage stamp punch here and slide this in and get that wherever I want it and go ahead and punch out our piece, okay? So now we have a cute little background that's going to fit like this on our card. And I have a piece here of the strip, which I'm going to use. And I want the greeting, let's see, make a wish here from this stamp set. So I'm gonna grab this and a block. This is a very large block for this stamp, but that's okay. And I'm gonna use Calypso Coral here because it's part of our suite and we want it to tease the color that's gonna be inside our card. So got that. And then just to give it a little bit of extra interest, I'm gonna cut some banner ends here, okay. I've cut a lot of banner ends in my life and I also don't really care if they're not perfect. So I don't worry too much about that. So let's put some ends on, or some Stampin' Dimensionals here on the back. And we're gonna add some bling to the front of our card too. So pop our greeting on. So now we have our Make-A-Wish with our candles. And for bling this month, I'm featuring the iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. Remember to use your tip here to slide the rhinestone off the backing and pop it onto your card. Slide and stick. All right, so there's the front of our card. Let's get ready for the inside of our card. Let's see, I'm gonna need another little bit of basic white cardstock, which I guess I don't need it quite yet. Oh, there it is, never mind. Okay, so for the inside of our card, we're gonna go ahead and take our piece of designer series paper and we're gonna use this to make the folding stair step inside our card. This is one of the very easiest ways to make a pop-up card, I think. The stair step is just so simple. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is fold this in half to begin with. This strip is 2.5 inches by 6 inches, which is very efficient. And then I'm gonna go ahead and fold from there, each edge into the center. And if you just fold it right down into the center of the crease, you know that you're gonna get something that's fairly straight and in line and just makes it really simple. I even prefer it to scoring because it's just gonna be straight. All the lines will line up together. Okay, then I'm gonna open this and you see how we have 1, 2, 3, 4 panels. We're gonna add an extra score to the inside of these and I want it to be sort of opposite. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold these together like this, okay? So if you're not sure, like, wait, which way am I folding? Just put a fold in half there and then you can change the direction of it later. So now this is gonna be the front of our card. You can kind of see we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 V there thing, like sort of a W with extended arms like that. And if you want your stars to show when you have your stair step in your card, then that's great. If you wanted your plaid to show, you would just reverse all the folds so that they would face the other direction. So there is our start of our card. Now, we could go ahead and glue this in. What I want you to think about here is where you want this to sit in your card. So if you put this way up here at the crease and then fold it, be like this, then your pop-up isn't gonna really work correctly. The pieces won't fully extend into the stair. But if you put it way out here, then you actually won't be able to open your card. So you can kind of see, like if I glued it here like this, okay, we'll say that I glued it right there, then that's all the much that our card is gonna open. And unless that's the effect you're going for, probably not what you want. So let's look at where we really want it. I want it to be right about here. So I'm gonna look at how far the base is from the crease. Okay, so right here, it's about 2 inches, or not 2 inches, geez, it's about 1.5 inches, or maybe 1.25 inches out from the side. So when we glue this in, that's where I'm gonna aim for, okay? Plus or minus, doesn't really matter. Now, what are we going to put on here? I have this big piece of basic white cardstock, which I want to be the background, which is really going to set off our fun here of our puffins. And so let's go ahead and do some coloring on that. And I'm going to grab the Rays of Light stamp here that we've been talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and ink this up and go ahead and stamp it on our paper. Now, when you do this, I don't always mount these stamps. I didn't even like take the backing off it. I'm just gonna leave it flat on my table and use my Daffodil Delight ink pad and go ahead and make sure that I cover the whole back of our stamp. Okay, so I get it all. You should be able to see pretty easily if you've got it all inked. Now, when you do this, you're gonna end up with ink on the edges of your case here. That is where it is really handy to have the chamois, and you can just wipe away that extra ink so you're not getting it on everything. So, okay. So remember to keep that chamois handy. It really can help you to keep the ink where it belongs. So I'm gonna take my cardstock now and go ahead and set this here. And I'm gonna keep one hand on at all times. And I'm going to use an extra block that I have. Here's one that I have on hand. I'm going to keep that one hand there so that I'm always contacting my cardstock, and then I'm going to use the other one to make sure that I'm getting good contact between this paper and the stamp. Again, you're going to get a little ink spread, so go ahead and clean off your block after so that you're not transferring that ink everywhere. And when you pick up your background, you have, ta-da! I love that reveal. The absolutely gorgeous stamp here with this sunburst. So where's this going to go in our card? It is going to go here on the inside. So let's go ahead and adhere this. You want to make sure you got a good layer of adhesive. I used probably more than I usually do because this is going to pull on our stair step. Always smush from the back side here. You don't want to rub across something that you've just stamped. Even though it dries really quickly, that's sort of tempting fate. All right, so now we talked about how far away we wanted this to be. I'm going to go ahead and tap down my glue. Oh, multi-purpose liquid glue is the strongest. And in case you wonder why I always do that little tap tap move, it's because I want the glue to fall to the tip so that when I open it, then it's ready to come out. If it has this cute base here, which really tempts stampers to store it upright. Everybody wants to go like this when they're done. Okay, that's great. But now you know that the glue is falling to the bottom where it is not accessible to you. And when you try to use it, it's not going to pop out right away. So I always tap it down there. So if you grew up with mercury thermometers, it's kind of, you can also do the like wrist shake thing. So a note of warning, make sure the lid is on when you do that wrist shake because you don't want to spray glue everywhere. In my old studio, I have a wall that is still sprayed with glue because it doesn't come off. All right, so now I've got this all folded up. I'm going to set it inside and I'm going to close my card on it. Before it sets, I'm gonna open it up just to make sure I don't need to tweak it, like make sure it's straight, that it's not like crooked or anything. It looks pretty good, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it just like that so that it definitely sticks down. And while it is adhering, remember multi-purpose liquid glue takes a second to grab, so you wanna give it its time. I'm gonna grab my Memento ink and go ahead and stamp our bird. Oh, I didn't get a great stamp on him. Okay, I'm gonna stamp him one more time. With the Memento ink, you are going to have a different strategy than inking with your foam pads. So with the firm foam pads, you're just, tap, 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 little bits, not like elephant ballet, stomp, 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 but like little mouse ballet, tap, tap, tap. With the Memento pad though, this is a fabric covered pad. And so it works a little bit differently. And you'll notice when I ink on a fabric covered pad, I do twist, twist, tap, tap. And let's look at why. So twist, twist is going to give me this like weird, like circle-y kind of pattern on my image. I'm not sure how well you can see that. But if I do a tap, tap, then it really evens that smear out, okay? So you're gonna do twist, twist, tap, tap when you're doing memento because it is a fabric covered pad. So if you can't remember which ones, it's the fabric versus the foam. Okay, and then I also need a cake here. So we're gonna go ahead and add a cake to our paper. And you can kind of see the difference here in the little wing of our puffin. This is a much cleaner stamp here than the first one. So usually I would flip my paper over and stamp it on the back, but our pop-up is gonna show on the back. So that is not an ideal way to go. All right, so like I said, I like to limit my supplies for monthly tutorials each month so that we really can make sure that we are getting the best out of each set. So you're gonna have lots of fun ways to use the supplies that you get. And you're gonna have like one little tiny project and then, you know, like stuff that just sits. There's nothing else to do with them. So this project is of course one, and then the other card that I showed you, and then I have two more for the month of December that I think you guys are going to adore. So, all right, so I'm gonna use my Calypso Coral here and my Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blends markers. They come in pairs, so there's a light and a dark. So I'm using my dark here, and I'll do the candles in dark. And each pen also has a bullet tip and a flowy brush tip. And so here's my light of Calypso Coral, and I'm going to go ahead and color. So I'm not really doing like blending a lot on these. I have a lot of other video tutorials about Stampin' Blends and how to blend with them. I'm just sort of doing fun, quick coloring because that is the style of our cards. Now you're gonna take your scissors and you are going to do a quick fussy cut around these. Scissors never move except to cut. My left hand is the one doing all the turning. And I talked extensively about fussy cutting in our most recent video. So what is this, episode 326? So it must have been 325. Anyway, the previous Puffin card. So I won't talk as much about that this time. And of course, then here's one that's already cut out through the magic of television. So let's get these little goodies inside our card here. I have our Puffin, which is gonna fit here, and our cake, which is gonna fit here. And one of the things you need to watch with this is you need to make sure that your adhesive is only where it can be. You're not gonna seal your card shut accidentally. So I'm gonna take this edge piece here, and our Puffin's gonna sit on our step. So I'm gonna pop this right here, and I am going to add our Puffin to it. So that now I made sure that there's no adhesive on the back side of our Puffin that would be interfering with our card. And same, this one is pretty flat, so I'm not gonna worry. Our cake is gonna go right here by our big sunshine and our happiness. And then we need a place for our greeting. So I'm going to bring in, yours will be pre-punched, but I'm gonna bring in my postage stamp punch again and punch a piece of So Saffron cardstock, which we've used on the front. So we're kind of repeating our color. And again, safest to put your adhesive on the little stair step, not on the piece, because you don't want to seal your card shut. And then we're going to add our greeting. So I have a strip here. I'm going to bring in our happy birthday and go ahead and stamp there. And we're going to go ahead and trim like so. Okay, and you know what? I got a little high, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and trim the bottom so there's not quite so much space. And then this is going to get mounted on our little block here. So I think I'm a little smaller than a dimensional width, so I'm gonna use edge pieces. Remember to save these edges of your dimensional. It's always funny to me when I go all the way around before I use all the ones in the middle. Those are like gold. You can also get strips of them. So not to worry if you're a big fan of Stampin' Dimensional strips, they do come in a package, just the strips. So, all right. So there is our fun inside of our card. All right. So it opens like from here, make a wish, and then has our fun setup inside here where our birds are just really showing off their birthday greetings. Okay. All right, let me turn our back around and come up here. There we go. How's that for smooth camera work? Sketch. Anyway, so our fun pop-up card. So you can see, hopefully you guys are in agreement, Party Puffins and Rays of Light make a really great set of coordinates. So do you want me to sneak peek the next card? I love it so much. It is going to be another pop-up card. And it really makes the most, again, of both of those stamps. There are a lot of tips to show you when you're putting this together, but here's how it comes in the envelope. So it comes flat like this, and then it pops up to make this fabulousness, which honestly, I think it's kind of like ice cubes, the way this kind of sits. So it would just sit on your table like so and be super awesome. All right, so coming on Thursday, so you guys won't want to miss that one. And if you're trying to figure out why this video isn't matching up with what I posted live earlier, I'm so sorry for the weird sound problems that I had today. But this has hopefully been the cohesive one, which includes everything that you need to know. And all of these links are in the video description. And I hope that you guys have an absolutely wonderful day. And I will look forward to seeing you for our next episode of Maker Mornings with Meg. So happy stamping, guys.